Obviously, we're in a moment of disillusionment as a church. And part of the disillusionment is around this question, can we trust our pastor? Because of things that we've heard and things that we've read. And if I had read things that you've read and had heard them without any response, I would be disillusioned as well. So I don't blame anyone who would have questions, because that's just the nature of this without any response. So let me repeat what I said back on December 17th, that there is a sense in my heart that God has called us here, has not removed that call. But again, back, like I said, on the 17th of any time, it was the will of the church that should not be the case, that we're not going to resist that call. The unity of the church is far more important, and we would be submissive to the will of the church. But as your pastor, because you're hearing things, again, all the time, and I understand that it's hard to manage the weight and the consistency in which you get this information. I want to apologize again for mistakes I've made. I've made mistakes in communication. And while I never intended to deceive, the failure to communicate at certain points certainly gave the impression to some that we were trying to cover something. And I understand that, and I take responsibility for that sincerely when I was involved. As I said on December 10th, again, the decision not to communicate about the Patrick Miller arrest was wrong, and I deeply regret that decision. I'm committed to making this church a place of transparency. So we're a family, and while I'm your pastor, I'm also a member of this family. And so it's important that we understand that when one of us hurts, all of us hurts. And so we have to be open and transparent. And so in this moment, I just want to say to you, I want to talk directly to you. This is the best way, not through any other means, but to come directly to you. So as many of you know, there was a document that was released last week. It raised all kinds of questions, and people have wondered and have asked me what my response to that document is. Obviously, we can't take pulpit time to discuss all of it, all the 11 pages inside the document. But let me say just two things briefly. The actions of those who abused were awful and wrong. And I'm brokenhearted that they harmed anyone, especially at our church, with our family at Immanuel. My handling in these situations should have been better. And again, I just want to be clear about that. Tonight, at our deacons meeting, I'll provide a verbal response to that. And then at some point, as soon as possible, I'll release some type of response to the church so you can have my response and the answers to that. So much of this winds up in the papers anyway. I want to just communicate directly with you instead of you wind up hearing it from another source. I want you to hear it from me directly and not from outside media. Again, I'll talk openly with the deacons tonight, and then as soon as possible, I'll release something so you can have my response to the key issues in that document.